I'm Joe Giglio for NJ Sports. Now on this Monday, May the 4th, the NFL draft in the books, and for the New York Giants with their first round selection, Ereck Flowers completes the rebuilding of an offensive line. You think back to the Giants when they were in their heyday under Tom Coughlin, Eli Manning, winning Super Bowl 42, getting back in Super Bowl 46, once again beating the New England Patriots. The nucleus of an offensive line was the same throughout most of those good years when the Giants were competing close to the postseason or getting in the postseason and getting through the postseason. Of course, with Kareem McKenzie and David Deal and Sean O'Hara and Richie Seibert and, of course, Chris Snee, the high-round pick back in 2004, the Giants had a nucleus on the offensive line that they leaned on for a very long time. What has happened over the years, that offensive line aged. It was a big part of the reason why the Giants became a very mediocre football team. And as the last few years have gone about, the Giants have done their best to rebuild that offensive line. It started with Will Beatty, re-signing him. Then the last few years, the signing of a guy like Jeff Schwartz and the draft picks of Justin Pugh, Weston Richburg. The Giants have spent high picks leading in to 2015 on NFL offensive linemen. And now with the 9th overall selection in 2015, the Giants hope and their fans hope the missing piece, the last piece of the puzzle, is 20-year-old Ereck Flowers. Just turned 21 a couple weeks ago. A very young player. Reminds me of when the Dallas Cowboys selected a young Tyron Smith out of USC. Now look, I don't know if Ereck Flowers will ever be as good as Tyron Smith is now on the left side for the best offensive line in the sport in the Dallas Cowboys. But the similarities are there. A very good athlete, a very strong player, a very young football player that has a lot of room to grow here and probably will start from day one, eventually may become a franchise left tackle for the New York Giants. But here you look at it, the last few years, the Giants realized this. 2 years ago, the Giants were an awful offensive line. Eli Manning was battered as they had a losing season. Last year, first couple of games of the season, I thought the offensive line hadn't improved much at all. But then as the season went along with a new offensive system, you saw some positives. Even though a guy like Richburg was out of place at guard instead of center. A guy like Justin Pugh, probably we're going to find out, was out of place at tackle instead of guard. And a player like Jeff Schwartz, who they spent a ton of money on last offseason, wasn't even really there because of a toe injury. So now the Giants, in reality, will get 3 different positions solidified here with the addition of Ereck Flowers. You can move Pugh to right guard or left guard. You could play Schwartz at right guard. You could play Richburg at center, and now you could plug right tackle Ereck Flowers in from the University of Miami. And when you look across the line now, if you project it forward, and of course, we still have to go through mini camp and training camp, and Tom Coughlin and Pat Flaherty and the Giants coaching staff will decide what is the best alignment for these 5 offensive linemen. But the bottom line is the Giants now have 5 competent offensive linemen, 3 of which they have taken with high picks in 3 consecutive drafts. That's how you build an offensive line. That's how you build something sustainable. And for the Giants coming into this draft, whether it's Brandon Scherff or Ereck Flowers or anyone else, they needed one more standout offensive lineman to make the group whole. Now, we'll see if they have it. But they certainly have gone about using their capital, using their draft picks to go about and shore up the line in front of Eli Manning. And when a kid like Flowers, if his projection, which is high, I mean, was it a reach at number 9? It was a little bit of projection. I don't know if he was supposed to be the 9th player off the board when Thursday night rolled around, but that's where the Giants saw him, and once Scherff went off the board, the Giants said, this kid has a lot of potential. We're taking him, and we're putting him at right tackle to start the 2015 season. A couple years ago, the Giants and Eli Manning suffered because of an offense that was archaic and an offensive line that could not block anymore. You fast forward 2 years, and as you look forward to this summer, as you look forward to what the Giants may become in 2015 with Ben McAdoo's system and a rebuilt offensive line, you could look and project a Will Beatty, a Justin Pugh, a Weston Richburg, a Jeff Schwartz, and of course now, Ereck Flowers at right tackle. For Eli Manning, for Rashad Jennings, for Andre Williams, for Shane Vereen, that is a very, very nice picture and a very, very nice foundation to build on for the 2015 season. It took a few years, but the rebuilding of the Giants' offensive line is complete. Now, when the fall rolls around, we get to see how it performs on Sundays. I'm Joe Giglio for NJ Sports Now.